So, we go back now to the upper side of our bracket. X-Blades won their opening match 2-0 over China Dragons, and Quad Force 1 won their opening match 2-0 over Raiden Racing, which means X-Blades and Quad Force 1 haven't had a loss yet. So, semi-final number 1 is upon us. X-Blades against Quad Force 1. And now we go to best of fives. Yayu and Sali will be racing against Propsicle and Leviathan. Yayu, as I mentioned at the start, had won 21 races during the regular season of Split 1. Propsicle had won 48. Leviathan, he's done very well with 7, though, because, you know, when Propsicle is winning basically every race he's in, all you can do is win the ones that he's not in. And Sully 1 just has 1 win coming into this, but has the live stage experience he got into by a couple of weeks ago when he said he was nervous after his first win, but turned that into winning the whole series. So Sully 1, surely no stranger to pressure now. All these 4 pilots, very, very capable on their day. Yayu, the better of the 2 for X-Blades, Propsicle, the better of the 2 for Quad Force 1, but they're all racing. Best of 3s. So who can do it? X-Blades or Quad Force 1? We will go and see. X-Blades against Quad Force 1. Nobody's eliminated at this stage, but the loser races Raiden. The winner gets the shortcut to the grand final. Light blue against dark blue. X-Blades from the UK, Quad Force 1's from the US. We have enjoyed seeing these teams racing since Quad Force 1 joined in 2018. Hang on tight. Thank you, Kite FPV. That's very kind of you to say. Blonde Angel FPV, X-Blades. It's tough to call the way Propsicle has been flying. He's in the lead. Then it's Leviathan, 2 tenths. Sully, 2 more tenths. Yayu, just a bit more. Let's call it 2 tenths. Propsicle over Levi, first and second. Sully and Yayu, third and fourth. Or are they? Sully in the proper scrap now with Leviathan, who he's just a tenth and a bit ahead of, and now Sully getting in front of Leviathan is because their second and third has become first and second. Propsicle is 8 seconds behind and having problems for Quad Force 1. Propsicle, we didn't catch it, didn't see what hit him, or what he hit. Sully out in front and Leviathan being roared on by his American team now as he is 1/10 of a second behind Sully 1. And Yayu 2 seconds behind. Possibly a little bit too much to do. That's good flying from both of these pilots. Levi chases Sully 1 through the cubes, up and over the casino cubes and out. And back over the water and Leviathan 1/4 of a second behind Sully 1 and 2 laps to do the catching in. Sully 1. Leviathan within 1/10 of a second on him, moving up alongside him now, trying to cut him on the inside of that turn. Hasn't got him just yet. But on some of these turns, is taking chunks out of Sully's lead, and then Sully just slips away again. So, who's going to break first? Is that what it's going to come to? Sully or Levi? Both of them have cracked under pressure at times. No shame in that. Levi tries to move first into the 4 power loops here of the block trade gates and just slips in front of Sully in doing so. He pre-turned nicely in, as I said, and that has just worked well for him. Sully is within 1/10 of a second. Both of them, look at that, side by side, basically one drone, 1/100th of a second and less between these two and 1 lap. And this is just the first race between them. Through the DCL gate here, Sully in the lead. Leviathan around the outside of him, ducks on the inside of him here, heads into the ladder, tries to move on the inside of him, and does. Gets the lead from Sully into the dive gate, and Sully is out. 6, 7, 8 seconds and falling. Levi has Lake Zurich, and it is a beautiful, picturesque spot to go flying. He can take in the scenery right now as Yayu has moved past Sully as it's gone from bad to worse for him. Propsicle is nowhere to be found. Leviathan has a 10-second lead and about 2 turns. There's 1, 2. There's the gate. There's the finish. And we wait for an X-Blades drone. But look at the smiles on the American faces. Propsicle hasn't even finished yet, and he's enjoying what Levi has done. Quad Force 1 get the first point in that series. Well flown, Leviathan. His first win of today. So exciting. And X-Blades find themselves 1-0 behind. Now remember, this is not do or die time. These teams haven't lost a match yet. The winner of this goes to the grand final, and that is a best of 7. And as they will get there without having lost a race at all, their bonus for doing so is that they will start that grand final with a 1-0 head start. That's their reward for making the final without losing a series along the way. So the winner of these teams will be in the grand final with a 1-0 head start in that best of 7. And we'll race 6 races if we have to. The team who lose this matchup now, that'll be their first loss. They won't be eliminated. Instead, they'll face Raiden for the other spot in the grand final. So Quad Force 1 with the first. X-Blades Racing need to tie it up now. And Yayu and Salih are top and tailing things at the moment. Kite asks me, who's had the best time during practice? I have not had a chance to look, Kites, FPV, but I could ask for it. Yayu, 0.2 of a second over Levi. Propsicle and Salih 1, slipping behind. Prop in 3rd. X-Blade, Salih 1, over a second behind him in 4th. Levi would love to make this 2 for 2 and get this done and have a nice rest before they race whoever sees them in the grand finals. Yayu is fighting with him though for the lead at the moment. Yayu, the pilot who could do it for X-Blades. Levi and Propsicle currently behind him, 2nd and 3rd. Prop 0.2. Levi half a second more. Here's Propsicle's view. Nobody having any problems in those 6 gates of the DCL tunnel, but these block trade power loops have had a few bumps along the way so far. All good for Yayu here. Then Prop, Levi, Salih 1 still out of the picture here. 3 laps. That's the one we're on. Still 3/10. Maybe a little bit more now. Yayu over Propsicle, 1st and 2nd. This is Prop's view of his teammate Levi, who's just got in front of him, trying to catch the light blue X-Blades Dragonfly drone, who's in front of those. Dipping down through the dive gates. And Yayu is clean out in front. When he's flying like this, he's very hard to catch. Early in the season, he made some mistakes under pressure. Later in the season, he was very consistent indeed. I enjoyed some of our magazines that I was commentating on where he was like, finally, I'm good on a track. Well, he's good around Lake Zurich, it seems. Yayu over Propsicle, but by 2/10 now and 1 lap to do something about it. He hasn't got this all to himself by any means. Less than a 1/4 of a second. Propsicle gaining on him now, moving up to try and get past Yayu. Levi, on the other hand, has gone the other way and is down in 4th place and probably won't catch Salih for 3rd. It's going to be Propsicle against Yayu. These 2 incredible pilots for their team, and Prop's made a mistake. Headed the wrong way over the rooftop. I'm not sure if he caught something or had to double back and make it, but Yayu is away cleanly and Propsicle is a 2nd behind him. And although Propsicle had a 2nd penalty on his first race of the day due to his early start and still came back and won it, I don't think he can do anything about a 2nd behind Yayu with this little race to go. He has gained something on him, a few tenths here and there, but he's going to need Yayu to mess up the landing. And instead he sees him through the final gate and into the finish, and Yayu ties it together. Yayu gets his first win of today. As Propsicle comes in 2nd behind him. And Yayu, like I say, it's not elimination time, but he definitely wants the shortcut to the grand final. So it's 1-1 between these incredible teams, X-Blades and Quad Force 1. You know, we could look back over race over race over race from year after year of our incredible seasons, both real life races and virtual, and see X-Blades and Quad Force 1 battling again and again. The closest they ever were at the end of a season was 2018, when X-Blades won their 2nd World Championship title, 3rd if you count the individual series from 2016. They won in 2018, and it was Quad Force 1 in their debut season who were runners-up in the entire World Championship. Since then, they've been 3rd a number of times. This isn't the World Championship match, of course. That will be at the end of 2023, but the results here at the Split 1 finals, they will turn into points to make it to qualifiers for the World Finals. Then we'll do Split 2. Split 2 with 18 more racing weeks and a Split 2 finals. After that, the World Championship finals. So no big title on the line today. But Propsicle have never won a title of any kind in the DCL. They'd love that. Split 1 champions. X-Blades would love to stop them at this stage for now. It is possible that these two teams meet again in the grand final. If the loser of this beats Raiden in the forthcoming match, then they will get back to the grand final. But remember, the winner of this has a 1-0 head start in the grand final. You'll see as we get there. Yayu and Propsicle and Leviathan and Sally 1 all in this fight. Half a second between all four of them. That was nice work on the block trade power loops until the fourth one slowed Sally 1 a little bit. He's lost a few tenths of a second, finds himself in fourth place again. Yayu finds himself in the lead. There is a blue drone in front of Yayu. It's Propsicle for now. By 1/10 of a second into the ladder. Both of these pilots doing good work there. Leviathan still hanging on to Yayu too. Here he is. He's in third. Sully half of a second behind him. Yayu trying to get on the inside of Propsicle. Heading out through the tunnel to the power loops. Let's see what Levi can do. Can he gain anything on Prop? He does. In fact, he moves past Propsicle. That was brilliant flying by Leviathan. He goes into the lead. I liked his approach into the power loops and the speed he had. He has sewn those up beautifully. Now he's in front of Yayu and we're halfway through this race. Propsicle just about the same amount behind Yayu as Levi is out in front of him. Here's the French pilot's look. Yayu swinging through the DCL gates. Just saw Sally 1 zip across him. Half a second behind him though. And Yayu back in the front. Spectacular spinnies. Pretty spinnies. All of the prettiness. Yes indeed. Yayu over Levi. Propsicle hanging in there as well. A few thousandths of a second. Just splitting Leviathan and Yayu. One of them getting the shortcut to the grand final and the 1-0 head start. The other one has to fight again against Raiden Racing to get to that grand final. Will it be Levi or Yayu? Propsicle is also in this scrap as well. Sally 1 has slipped a little bit further behind. Here's the final lap now. That Foxeer gate is the beginning of the fourth. Levi, Yayu, Propsicle, any of them could take this. So much pressure on all of the pilots. They know they won't get eliminated at this stage, but they want that grand final prime spot. And Yayu is back in front of Leviathan into the dive gate and heading now over the land. Levi swings in front of him. They go out over the water. Yayu thinks he's in the lead. Then he sees Leviathan drop in front of him. Leviathan was fantastic in the corkscrews and the power loops earlier. He's doing great work now, but Yayu is still in front of him by 0.2 of a second. Propsicle is awesome in the cubes. Moving up, Leviathan and Propsicle are in front of Sally and Yayu. It's all come undone for X-Blades. You can breathe out now, Quad Force 1 fans. Propsicle gets a win. Levi 0.05 of a second behind him. It was great for X-Blades until the cubes. And Quad Force 1 are our first grand finalists. No, my bad, we're doing a best of 5. Rein it in, match. We've got some more racing. Ah, I was a little bit too excited. Now welcome to the afternoon chill out. So with Matt Andrews, just a moment, because it's a best of 5. And breathe, and breathe, and breathe. And breathe. 2-1, Quad Force 1. Wow. And breathe. And go. Cast the rest of the event like it is a golf match, please. This is Gmail. Well, that's new. Right, it's a best of 5. And it is Propsicle with a nice clean run through the centre of the fairway there as he turns and loops around the block trade power loops. Levi just moving up, looking snazzy in his golfing outfit, of course. Over Sally 1, then Yayu, and Propsicle just a few inches behind him. Levi goes on to the second lap of the course here with Yayu 0.2 of a second behind him. Propsicle just so close as well. And oh, look at that. That's marvellous work there. Yes, marvellous. The grass looking wonderful in Zurich as Yayu and Sali now take the lead from the two American pilots. in the Ryder Cup of racing. Sali over Leviathan by a hundredth of a second, if that. Leviathan and Sali 1 heading to the land. I am not going to keep this like this forever. Leviathan, Sali 1, Yayu and Propsicle. The green grass indeed. We're not getting a good look at it here as we're out over the water, but don't worry, we'll resume golfing any moment now as Leviathan and Yayu, Sali1 and Propsicle are back now onto the land. Look at that fairway, absolutely beautiful. Start of lap number 3 now, and we'll go a little bit more intense. Levi, Yayu, Sali and Propsicle. Want me to sing this one now? I guess we should probably treat this like the professional World Championship of Trial Racing that it is. Leviathan, 1/10 of a second. Yayu Sali. Quad Force 1 have a 2 lead now. 2-1 lead. Over X-Blades Racing. Is the grand final first spot going to be theirs? Will they sink the putt at the finish of this? We'll find out soon. Leviathan is ahead of Yayu. We've seen him slip past Yayu in the cages. Well, he's in front of him already in this turn. Now, through the Foxeer gates and onto the 4th lap. Yayu's look, a quarter of a second behind Levi. He goes up over Rapperswil Castle and then heads down through Torval, back through the DCL gate, and Leviathan has still got a lead over Yayu, but it's a 10th less than it was. Yayu now on the charge, focused in the top left of your screen, trying to catch Leviathan into the dive gate. Both of them are good here. Yayu still 1500ths of a second behind Leviathan. He's seen this view many times out over Lake Zurich. Levi swings from high up to drop down in front of him. Now this block trade set of corkscrew turns is good for both of them. Yayu is doing what Levi did earlier. Yayu is trying to push and catch Levi in the cubes. He briefly got in front of him, but he's coming out behind. Here's the final turn. You've got to swing it right to make the finish, and Levi punches the air. 3-1 for Quad Force 1. Levi gets another win. Congratulations, Leviathan, on his second. And and this alone, that definitely, this here, for sure now, with a 3-1 out of a best of 5. That there, I'm quite confident, and this bit will help show that Quad Force 1 are into our grand final. All clear? Oh my gosh, what racing, what close racing. Wow, wow, wow. Levi coming from second to take wins and hanging on to them with Yayu breathing down his neck and just almost getting in there as well. That is a 3-1 win in this best of 5 for Quad Force 1 over X-Blades Racing. That sees Quad Force 1 go as our first grand finalist. That final will be a best of 7. But we'll only race 6 races if we need to, as their reward, Quad Force 1, for getting into that grand final without losing a match, is they'll start that grand final with a 1-0 win. Let's see how our pilots are feeling after the races they've had. Congratulations, Quad Force 1, you are our first grand finalists. And Levi, you're getting some points on the board. How are you feeling?
Feeling great. I mean, that last run was my best time in the races so far, and yeah, I just felt on it, and hope to bring that to finals.
Yeah, you are in them. Propsicle, you're looking very pleased as well. You're looking like you're trying to hold in a little bit of excitement, but is there a big roar waiting to come out?
Probably, yeah. Gotta save that one for when we win grand finals, though. So,
there you go.
Gotta save that. But, I've just been loving, my time here. It's been so much fun this race so far. Especially, racing with Levi. I love our dynamic, especially just because, when he's not performing, I can step up and perform. When I'm not performing, Levi steps up and sets down some times like he did in this last one. Like, we're really just feeding off each other and picking up where the others don't have space, and it's been working out great.
Do you know, I've said in previous seasons as well, Silas, that you as the captain at Quad Force 1, your team always mixed up the lineups. When we had races before where you chose who was racing who, some teams just went always this pair against, this pair will be the first pair, this pair will be the second pair, in different formats. This year we've changed it. But you guys always modelled it up a bit like you, Prop, you always wanted to race with everybody else side by side. And that always worked really well for me, but I have always felt like you and Levi have just got that bit more experience together, and the partnership is so strong.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, both me and Levi are very competitive, even just against each other in individual races. We're always trying to beat each other out. So whenever you put us together on a team, that energy just skyrockets, basically. We feed off each other really well, and we're competitive with each other, and instead of, us going against each other with that competitiveness, we can use that to then go up against other teams, and it works out great.
Yeah. Propsicle, we've seen quite a lot of emotions from you during Split 1. I don't know if you've seen them in the magazine programs where your team has been featured. I've seen a slightly rowdier Silas Aaron this year than I maybe have seen in the past as well. What's changing for you? What's going on for you?
I just think I'm becoming much more confident in my skill. I've improved a lot over these past few years, and, I'm kind of just ready to leave it all out on the track. I'm kind of done leaving stuff on the table, regretting my performance in races. I'm here to win, and I'm going to show it in the races, so, yeah.
Yeah, and that, no shame in that at all. This is the World Championship of Drone Racing. Quad Force 1, for a few seasons now, I've been sort of just bubbling under the surface, but not quite at the top where Raiden and previously X-Blades have been. It is great to see you just, like you say, not leaving it on the table, letting it all out there, and it is definitely working for you guys. Propsicle, as you know, you finished Split 1 with the highest score of all of our pilots. You are the only one with 3 wins out of today so far. Levi, you've got 2. A few of our other pilots have got 2. Guys, congratulations. You're into the grand final. You have a 1-0 head start in that as well. Who do you think are you going to race? Levi, let me ask you first. Who are you going to race? It's X-Blades against Raiden in the next match to face you. Who's coming for you in the final?
I'd have to guess X-Blades. Yayu seems really on, and Sally was right on earlier too. So yeah, I'd have to guess them. But Thunder's amazing too, so anything could happen.
Yep. Propsicle, is it X-Blades coming for you again, or do you get to face the Japanese team?
I think I'm gonna have to say we're gonna have a matchup with rematch with X-Blades. Like Levi said, Yayu has been on point this entire season. Basically, he's looking great today. I'm honestly just super excited to see the Thunder versus Yayu matchup. They're both amazing pilots, and just seeing them duke it out on the track for a whole 4 laps is gonna be awesome. But I do think in the end, X-Blades is gonna take it. They're looking on point, and they're just looking primed to take it.
Yeah. Well, we'll find out next. Those teams are racing each other. The winner comes for you. But well done. You get that 1-0 head start and the shortcut to the grand final. Good luck when we see you there. Levi, says Kite FPV in our chat. What a battle. What a battle that's going to be. What a battle coming up now is going to be. So semi-final number 2 is our next one, and that is going to be X-Blades against Raiden for a spot in the grand final. It is a best of 5. Remember that, Matt. It is a best of 5 that X-Blades and Raiden are going to battle it in for the grand final spot. It will be Yayu and Sali 1 against IQ0 and Vincent Mayans for Raiden Racing. That is going to be coming up next. The winner of that will go to the grand final. The loser of that will be eliminated as our 3rd place team. So don't go anywhere. X-Blades against Raiden Racing. That has been the World Championship deciding match for the last 2 seasons. You're going to see how they fight off in the Split 1 Championship and who gets to the grand final next. And welcome back to the golfing series of the Drone Champions League with me, Matt Andrews, and the World Championship with the best pilots in the world. And Chug Akver getting eliminated again. That's 2 for 2, Chug Akver. Hard luck. Dear oh dear. Chug Akver from Haven Airborne. Right, let's take a look at how the Split 1 Finals is moving along. 2 matchups to go. X-Blades beat out China Dragons at the beginning, but then just lost to Quad Force 1, which means they follow the red trail down as semi-final number 2. Their opponents, Raiden Racing, lost to Quad Force 1 at the beginning of today, beat China Dragons in the elimination zone, so they're still alive, and those 2 teams race each other next. X-Blades Racing against Raiden in semi-final number 2. The winner of this will go and fight Quad Force 1 for the title of Split Champion. And Quad Force 1 will race in that grand final without any losses today. So as a reward for that, in that best of 7, they'll start with a 1-0 head start. That's their reward for not having been beaten by any teams prior to that grand final. X-Blades, though, and Raiden Racing have both had a loss. Both of them to Quad Force 1. So, let's see how they can scrap out against each other in a best of 5. X-Blades against Raiden. Yayu and Sali 1 against Vincent Mayans and IQ0. Mayans has got 2 wins so far today. Yayu got a win earlier on. Sali1 has got 2 wins. And out of all the pilots in this 1 hour of practice that they had earlier on, that I mentioned just 1 hour before we went live, that was the only time they'd ever seen this track and were racing on it. Yayu was the best in practice. Now that doesn't, let's say that doesn't tell the whole story, because some pilots will use that just to practice obstacles and lines, and also, of course, learn the track. So it's not necessarily the case that their time in practice is everybody going full tilt. But yeah, of course, you know, usually that does tend to be the case for most of the pilots, and Yayu was the quickest in practice. So he has got Sali1 for company on X-Blades Racing against the 2 pilots, Vincent Mayans and IQ0 for Raiden. And what have we seen in the matches where they've raced so far? Well, we've seen Sali1 and Yayu at the front of things, we've seen Mayans at the front of things, and we've seen IQ0 too. I think the most consistent of these pilots, as Propsicle from Quad Force 1 was saying earlier on, the most consistent probably Vincent Mayans for Raiden Racing, and then Yayu from X-Blades. And when those 2 teams raced each other during the Split 1 season, it was always exciting. X-Blades managed to beat Raiden on both of those occasions though. The only team who have beaten X-Blades in all 18 weeks of Split number 1 was Quad Force 1, and they only beat them once, not twice. The only loss in 18 races that X-Blades had was to Quad Force 1, and they've just been lost. They've just gone and lost to Quad Force 1 again now, so they'll be feeling like they can come into this and beat Raiden. Raiden are the 2-time world champions. Let's not forget, they are the 2-time world champions. That is the team that took the title from X-Blades. So this match right now, this semi-final, this best of 5, is loaded with drama and feelings, and we are in the skies. Yayu Mayans, Sali1, IQ0 at 1/10 of a second between all of them as we get lap number 1 and semi-final 2 underway. X-Blades would love to beat Raiden at every opportunity, and they did in the regular season, 4-2 and 4-1 in our best of 7s during the 18-week season. They'd love to beat Raiden in the World Championship at the end of 2023 and get the title, of course. First, they'd like to get the Split 1 title, and Mayans is a little bit too far behind to try and say much about it, as is IQ0. At the moment, we're only just about to start lap number 2 as we can make that Foxier turn there. And already it's come a little bit undone for Raiden. Mayans, second behind the lead. IQ0, possibly not going to see him for the rest of the race now. The Yayu versus Mayans battle is one that many people were excited about on our Discord and chatting to me as well. But Sali1 is our leader at the moment. As I mentioned, he's got 2 wins so far. Yayu just one of them. So don't discount how smoothly and cleanly Sali1 is flying. We're on board with Yayu at the moment, who is fighting with his teammate for the lead. And as of yet, as we are about to start lap number 3, Mayans is still half a second behind them. Here's Yayu, who's got the lead over Rapperswil Castle. Here comes the drop down through the Torvol gates. 1, and then a long way around that DCL 1, and then under the hurdle over the top. And across the rooftops again. Here's the ladder, descending, accelerating ladder. That's nicely done for everybody. They've all got that dialed in a little bit now. Mayans is still down in 3rd, but the gap was half a second. It's now 0.2 of a second. Here comes the Mayans we know for Raiden Racing. Sali1 will now see the yellow drone just in front of him as Mayans is just starting to move, and he's got another lap to try and catch Yayu in. And we've seen Mayans come into these cages in 2nd and come out in 1st, and we've seen Yayu come into these cages in 1st and come out in 2nd behind Quad Force 1. 1/4 of a second and 1 lap to do something about it, and Mayans is fighting for the lead now with Yayu over the rooftops. Mayans, Yayu is down! That's a big mistake for him. He hits the dirt, and now it is Sali1 who's got to stop Mayans from getting the lead here in this best of 5. Mayans is 1 and a bit tenths of a second over Sali1, and they zip to the water. And Sali1, although we've talked a lot about Yayu and how well he's flown around Lake Zurich, like I said, don't count him out. He's got more wins than Yayu, and this could be another one. He's fighting on. It's all gone now, untangled into the block trade. Corkscrews is going to send him back by a couple of seconds, and Mayans surely won't make a big enough mistake from here. Can he hold it together? There's the swerve into the finish. It's his. Raiden get 1 thanks to Vincent Mayans, and he said what pressure he was under in the race before, what pressure he's under now. blink and breathe and get ready to go again, Mayans, as he makes it 3 wins. And the races get more and more challenging. Well done, Vincent Mayans from Raiden. He said earlier he feels the pressure here. He knows it's coming and he's racing with, like, barely blinking, as you can see. It was such a pleasure to meet him, finally, in person 2 weeks ago when we were out doing our live exhibition race at the Dubai Esports and Gaming Festival. Thank you to everybody again in Dubai for being so welcoming to us, and everybody at the DEF for making that incredible event. So it was great chatting with Vincent and Saliwan and the other guys, and Labeba as well, who got to be there. Everybody's so pleased to meet each other at last, as well, having raced against each other and chatted online but never met in person because of the pandemic. Now, though, it's all about beating each other. 1-0 Raiden. 6 thousandths of a second, Sully 1 and Vincent Mayans. Now, a couple of hundredths of a second, Sully 1 and Vincent Mayans. IQ0 in third. Yayu's had an early mistake and is a few too many seconds behind midway through lap number 1. This looks a bit aggressive and slightly clumsy for Sali 1, but you know what? It's quick as well. Lap number 2 will begin with Vincent Mayans for Raiden Racing, 1/10 of a second ahead of Sali 1 from X-Blades as they go over the rooftops and head down. And Sully 1 still sees Mayans just in front of him, but moves on the inside and made that turn very smooth indeed, and has got the lead over Mayans into the ladder, but comes out of the ladder just tucked behind him into the drop gate. Sully 1 trying to be tighter on all of the turns, whether they're vertical or horizontal. Take a look at his flying as we're on board with him. And he sees Raiden's Vincent Mayans just tucking in front now. Early turn and then going laterally across the corkscrews. Nat had to save it. Had to make it work the third and the fourth. Wasn't that smooth a transition. But he's flying very well, and it's still 2 tenths between him and Mayans. And we're only halfway through this race as of now. 3 tenths, maybe 4. Sully behind Mayans, lower than Mayans. Chasing him down towards the ground level now. Here he is. Seeing Mayans just ahead of him over Rapperswil Castle into the ladder. He was very tight here and very tight shortly afterwards. But Mayans is a little bit better here than he was on lap number 1. They dodge the trees, make the arches and head out over the lake. And Sali 1 has lost half a second on Vincent. I don't think he hit anything. Just maybe had to second guess. On the other hand, Mayans caught, I believe, one part of the corkscrew. I think it was the third part. And Sully 1, if he hadn't lost that half a second earlier on in the lap, he'd be comfortably ahead of Mayans for now, but instead he's right with him, and this is the 4th and final lap. Sully and Vincent Mayans in a quarter of a second. That could go either way. Yayu and IQ0 are nowhere near the front of this thing, and Sully 1 is nowhere near the front of it anymore. He's down into third. Yayu gets past him, but Vincent is clear out in front now. Oh, Sully 1 is the first one to fall out of him and Mayans. Mayans hasn't made any mistakes other than on the last lap in this section coming up when he just clipped it. Can he get through it cleanly now? Can Yayu do anything about it? Sully is hesitant on the way out of it and has lost some more time. This is Yayu, his teammate's view, who's in second, and the only one who can do anything about Vincent Mayans and stop him making it too. But watch him here through the final gate and into the big finish. And Yayu punches the air in frustration as Mayans learns to open and close his eyes. He looks exhausted, but he's elated as he's got another. That's 4 wins for Mayans today. That's the highest of anybody so far. Blink and get ready to come and get him again. Chug Akva says his name is Vincent. I know this man. I've been commentating on him for years, Chug Akva. 2 for him. So if he gets another right now, Raiden go to the grand final where they will fight against Quad Force 1, and X-Blades Racing will be eliminated in 3rd place from Split 1. Alternatively, X-Blades Racing, they have to get a couple of wins now. Yes, I do know it's VICENT, guys, I do know. He's been with us for many years. I've commentated on him winning multiple world championships. Don't worry, I got him. So Yayu and Sali won. First, third, fourth, moving around. It's 2-0 for Raiden Racing. X-Blades don't want to go out like this. They just lost 3-1 to Quad Force 1. They plan on winning the whole thing. And they've had such an incredible season, X-Blades. Getting into these Split 1 finals at the top of our leaderboards. 2 points ahead of Quad Force 1, out in front of that. They and Quad Force 1 shared the lead of our 18-week season at different times. Were tied, dead tied for a little bit of it as well. Now Yayu has a second or so clear of IQ 0. And Sali is getting in front of him as well. And Vincent Myers, who's been phenomenal in those last 2 races, perhaps just needing to get his eyes a little bit focused and getting racing here as he's struggling in this one. Yayu, Sali, IQ and Vincent. Myers, yeah. A little bit further behind in fourth now. IQ in second place. Yayu a little closer to taking second from him than he is from taking the lead from Sali 1. But Myers moves up to third as Yayu's chase on IQ 0 has gone a bit wrong and sees him go to fourth as he's crashed and bumped and left the race behind. Sali 1 still out in front. Mayans fighting, but has lost a bit more time. IQ 0 has lost a little bit more time as well. This could be a clean point for X-Blades. Sali 1 heads to the block trade, power loops, 3 and 4, and that is nice and clean from him. How does he do on the casino cubes? In and outs is good here. This is Mayans moving from second to third as IQ 0 has got in front of him. Now to the land. Through the Foxeer Gate and onto the final lap. And Sali 1 with a 3.5 second lead. Sali 1 needs to keep this clean. This is a lot of pressure on these pilots racing so many laps around this brand new circuit that they only had an hour to learn before. We were racing it in earnest today. And, you know, we've never done a series like this dual elimination series where you've got to race and race again and race again. This is truly going to find out which team can last. Sali 1 has got this surely in the bag now. We'll see him flying around the cubes. It's so difficult to learn how to do that in such a quick space of time as these guys did. IQ is 7 seconds or so behind him. There's the swerve. There's the finish. Sali 1 gets another win for himself. That's his third. And Mayans got 1 and then a second, but couldn't make it a 3-0 clean sweep. Instead, Sali 1 brings a point back for the team from the UK. So 2-1 Raiden over X-Blades, and these pilots have to race again. It's not like the split series that we did earlier in 2023 where we had a 1v1 and then a 2v2 and then another 2v2 featuring the other pilots from the 4 who were picked to race. So you did maybe get a chance to sit out a race here before the big heat came along where everyone had to take part. Here, you got to race again. And again, you and your teammate, and again. No teams can make any changes during this event. The 2 pilots that they picked are the ones to fight the whole thing. Yayu and Sali 1, trying to keep it alive for X-Blades. They're 2-1 behind though. Raiden just needs to win 1 to go to that grand final and knock them out. Bad start for IQ 0. The 1 second throttle penalty. No throttle for a second as he jumped the start. Had a few of those today. We've seen very few of them, if any, really, all season. We used to get them in live finals in previous years. This might be the first time they've happened in 2023, so the live Split 1 finals really showing pressure and applying it to these pilots. Yayu and Sali, first and second. Mayans hovering around them in third, as we can see here. Lower to the water this time. Gaining a little bit of altitude early before they head back to the land, and he's 1/10 of a second behind both of those X-Blades pilots in front of him. Lap number 2. Over the rooftops, down through the Torval gate. Mines keeping the pressure on Yayu and Sali 1. Still with them here. Few thousandths of a second more between them, few hundredths of a second more between them than there was, but Mines does so well, so good on that dive cube, that he gains a little bit of ground. Yayu is the first one to be taken by him for now at least, but that could easily switch back again, as Yayu just swung in front of him into the route, into the power loops, and all four of the pilots in there at the same time. Mines and Yayu scrapping for second and third as we reach the halfway point of this race just about now. Mines heads into it with 0.4 of a second to catch Sali and 2 laps to do it. It is just glorious flying. You're seeing these pilots really showing us the best of what they can do under massive pressure on a location they know well. We've raced around Lake Zurich and Rapperswil Castle many times in our virtual seasons, and like I say, in real life in 2018 as well, but this is a new layout. They've never raced this track. They've never raced a quadruple power loop here. The cubes are just a brand new obstacle. We've never had the like of it either. And this track gets to you mentally. That was the design ethos going into it. As you know, as you're flying around, that the hardest bit is yet to come. The toughest bit are the casino cubes right towards the end of the lap. So as you fly on your way around, our track designer Shane Adams designed it that there's this thing looming. You haven't got it out of the way. It's coming at the end of every lap. On this lap, it's less than 1/10 of a second between Mines and Sali, as Mines just tries to move up on Sali into the ladder. Sali came out of it better. Mines comes out of the drop cube better, as he's done a few times now, and he's in the lead over Sali 1. He needs to stay here and get Raiden racing into the grand final without needing to put any more races and any more pressure on him and his team. IQ is 20-odd seconds behind. Mines has got X-Blades all over the back of him, and is down. That's Sali. He's first to fall. Yayu chasing Vincent Mines. X-Blades have to get the win, but Mines takes Raiden to the grand final, and Yayu holds his head in his hands. Differently to how you're seeing Mines do it now. Raiden are our second grand finalists, and they eliminate their old nemesis, X-Blades Racing, in a 3-1 contest. X-Blades are out of the Split 1 finals. Another title deciding race. Another match between X-Blades and Raiden on the final parts of the season. And another time when Raiden knock X-Blades out. Great racing from them to get to this stage. But Raiden are your other grand finalists, who will meet Quad Force 1 very soon. Commiserations to X-Blades Racing, to Yayu, to Sali 1, and all of that incredible team. Let's grab those pilots. It's always tough to do an interview like this when you're on the losing side of it, of course, but let's see if we can get a quick word with Yayu and Sali. Yayu, Swan, buddy, hard luck. You lose to Raiden, you're eliminated in 3rd place, but what a fight all of those races were.
Yeah, all those races were so close, and yeah, unfortunately the time went not on our side. On the semi-final, Quad Force 1 were faster, they were just better, so we hope that the race against Raiden could have helped us to gain a bit of time for the finals, but unfortunately we are out. That means that we have not been good enough today, so let's focus on the Split 2 now, and
that's a very honest answer, Yayu. I appreciate the honesty. Great racing though, you must take that from this. You were in contention, you were fighting very quickly, you were at the front of races. Both you and Sali 1, you really were putting in a fantastic fight. You should be pleased with that.
Yeah, of course we are pleased of what we have done today, but we have not believed enough because the final is not here and the win is not here, so we cannot be full pleased of that. But it's not just ourselves who are not happy, it's all the team behind us, so it's sad just not for us but for everyone. So now let's focus on the second split and let's hope everything will be better.
Yeah, I mean, you finished Split 1 at the top of the leaderboard, so I'm sure you can do something like that again in Split 2. You came into the finals having won 17 out of 18 matchups I mean, that's phenomenal performance right there. Yayu, can I ask you, who do you think's going to win? Quad Force 1 or Raiden? Who do you think will take the title?
Let's see, but for me, it's gonna be Quad Force 1. They have shown that both pilots were top pilots. They were close to the PB, so they consistent pace is very high. So for me, it's Quad Force 1, but Raiden with Vicent and IQ are also very good. So let's see and let's enjoy it.
Yes, indeed. I hope you enjoy it as well. Yayu, third place, not a bad finish, but I know it's not what you wanted. Commiserations to you, but merci, Yayu, and all of your team for the great split one that we've had.
Thanks, Matt, for the commentator.
X-Blades, beaten by Raiden on not the last day of the whole season, because of course we have the rest of 23 to look forward to, but on the last day of split 1. That is going to sting. Let's have a grand final, I think, very shortly. Maybe we can talk to Raiden before we get into it. Yes, we can. Vincent, blink for me. How are you feeling?
Oh, I'm
Are you okay?
Crying, literally. It was really hard to get here today.
Yeah. Yeah, it has been a scrap, hasn't it? You guys have had to fight through the lower bracket rather than winning your matches against Quad Force 1 and going straight to the final. That was a great fight. A lot of action from X-Blades. I guess you guys are always pleased when you beat them again, though.
We're also, but they did really good in qualifying, and they were really close also with Quad Force. So I know the third place is not what they wanted, but they also did a great job here. So
Yeah.
I just want to congratulate them.
Well said, Vincent. IQ 0, few bumps for you. This track bites you every now and then. What are you going to do in the grand final?
I'm getting better every run, so I'm hoping I'm just good enough by then to string together a couple good runs and hopefully support Thunder enough to get the win. I think he's the star of the show here, but, emotional support's useful too.
You have 5 wins now, Vincent. That's the most out of anybody in today's action. Of course, you've had lots of races to do that in as well. You are now going into a best of 7, and Quad Force 1 start it with a 1-0 head start as they haven't lost the series and therefore get a little reward for that. You have been feeling the pressure, Vincent, in these best of 5s, as you said. This one's a best of 7 and you start 1-0 down. So how are you going to cope with that?
I mean, when I went to the 3 versus 3, I was not feeling that good on the track. And now with the more races we have, we're going to get a little bit more consistent and a little bit better. And I think we're ready for finals with that.
Yeah.
It's Thunder we're talking about, the comeback king. Of course he can do it.
There you go. IQ 0 believes you can do it, Thunder. I've many times called you the best finisher in the DCL. You are quite often there stealing a point from teams who thought they got it, and you just beat them at the end. I wouldn't like to call who's going to win between Quad Force 1 and you guys, but I'm absolutely thrilled to be presenting it for everybody. Guys, the best of luck to you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, this is a truly fantastic final. Quad Force 1 against Raiden. It's been so rare that we've ever seen a competition without X-Blades in the last matches of it. There's hardly any seasons I can remember where X-Blades weren't in the last battle. This is your Split 1 Grand Final coming up, and it is between Quad Force 1 and Raiden Racing. It is time, ladies and gentlemen, and everybody with us, for our grand final of the Split 1 finals. I'm Matt Andrews. We're the Drone Champions League, the World Championship for professional drone racing teams. And after an incredible 18-week season of Split 1, including 10 teams with 8 pilots each, 5 of those teams brand new to the DCL this year, it has all come down to this. It is Quad Force 1 against Raiden Racing, the American team against the 2-time world champions from Japan in a best of 7. And Quad Force 1 starts it with a 1-0 lead. Raiden Racing are the two-time world champions. As I say, they've been involved in fantastic battles at the end of the last two seasons, 2021 and 22, where those races have come down to them against X-Blades, and Raiden managed to beat them for that title in 21 and retain it last year. Quad Force 1, on the other hand, the closest they ever came to lifting a title in the DCL was when they were runners-up in the World Championship in their debut season back in 2018. Ever since then, they've struggled a little bit in the real-life races of 2019 and the virtual series since then. They've been third in the World Championship a few times. This is not the World Championship match. That will be in its own finals at the end of 2023. This is our first ever mid-season finals, or our Split 1 finals to determine the Split 1 champion. Will Quad Force 1 get their first ever DCL title, or will Raiden add the Split 1 championship to the world champions they already are? A best of 7 with Quad Force 1 in a 1-0 head start after they got here without losing any matches outright along the way. Propsicle, Levi, IQ 0, and Vincent Myers. What incredible 4 pilots they are. And the best of these 4 pilots on this track in terms of all of the race times they've done so far, it's Leviathan. Leviathan has finished this. His best lap time, in fact, is 0.7 of a second better than the fastest time that Mayans has put in. And then a little bit faster still than Propsicles. So, Levi can get the quickest time around this track, then Mayan, then Propsicle, and then IQ 0. What happens when they race each other, though? Quad Force 1 against Raiden. When they raced earlier on this season, it was 1-1. Quad Force 1 beat Raiden 4-2. Raiden beat them 4-3. This is about as close as it can get. But Raiden, remember, they've got to win this best of 7. They've got to get 4 wins. And Quad Force 1 already have 1 as their reward for getting here straight through without losing a series. Propsicle over Vincent Myers by less than 1/10 of a second. Strap yourselves in, everybody. It's going to be like this for a long time, I'm sure. I can see this going all the way through the best of 7. I can see Propsicle and Myers getting plenty of wins here. Leviathan getting some. IQ 0 is too far behind to get his first win of today yet. Myers, 2 or 300ths of a second. Then Propsicle. Levi, couple of seconds behind. A lot for him to catch up with 2 laps to go. Propsicle and Vincent Myers. We've just seen these teams battle again and again. Propsicle, remember, after the Split 1, 18 weeks was concluded, he had 48 wins for Quad Force 1. Vincent Myers had 46 wins for Raiden Racing. Now, after the races so far today, they are tied, including today's races, on 53 wins each. Is anything going to give? Well, it looks like Myers might be the first one to let it go. He's now a couple of whole seconds behind Propsicle, who is away over the rooftops after Myers just got clipped there into the ladder, slightly hesitant, but comes out in front as Propsicle has had a big problem reaching the ladder. I can't believe he lost some time there, and he has. Now it's 3/4 of a second the other way. Here's Propsicle's look at Myers, who's got in front of him, and Propsicle looks like he's feeling a little bit of pressure in the top right of your screen. You can just see the look on his face as he's fighting with Myers, and he knows how good Myers is, as he said earlier. Now Myers threads it. IQ 0 was saying what a great finisher Thunder is. Well, Myers comes out of all of this with 0.3 of a second. Keep an eye on the finish. It's Vincent getting 1, and Propsicle is frustrated that he let it go. Myers can hardly believe what he's doing. Propsicle's so frustrated not to get that one. That makes it 1-1. The little reward that Quad Force had coming into this, that's been caught up now. And Modig, David Modig, Longcat, former captain and pilot for Raiden Racing, is in the chat enjoying the action from Myers, of course. Never, ever count him out. But I would say the same about Propsicle this season as well. Although Propsicle's wins have typically been because he's in the front already and he's staying there. Whereas Mayans, for many years now, has been picking up wins on the last turn of some races, as we've enjoyed, particularly in the 2022 season. Now he's tied the series. It's 1-1, that best of 7, with a 1-0 head start for Quad Force 1. It's basically now a best of 5. Can he do it again? Can Propsicle do it? Can Leviathan keep under pressure? Can IQ0 turn up the heat on Quad Force 1? He said he's basically flying in support for Vincent Mayans. Don't leave it all to him. Such a close start. Look at them all as they get better and better on this track. Shane in the chat saying, is it a best 7 or best 5? It's a best of 7 overall, but it's 1-1. So those races sort of count each other out, Shane. It is a best of 7, but it's 1 point all. Propsicle charges. Vincent Mayans tucked in behind him. IQ0 and Leviathan into the block trade power loops as well. All 4 of them into the cubes now, into each cube at the same time. Less than a tenth of a second as they exit the cubes. Up and round. Oh, slight just fix on their route there for Leviathan. He was just getting a little bit too close to one of the pylons. Now coming around. Back down over the rooftop again. The Rapperswil Castle looking splendid from all directions. We attack it from all directions. Into the cube, into the drop. Propsicle, then Mayans, Levi, and IQ0. Astronaut tells you this is going to be some incredible racing. He's not wrong. These are truly, truly giving us the best that they can. Into the cubes. Levi moves up, takes the challenge. Mayans and Propsicle just a few tenths behind him. IQ0 still in the fight of this. We go to lap number 3 now. All pilots within 1 second. IQ just slips a little further behind. Levi just trying to get away in the front. Mayans with 4 tenths of a second behind Leviathan and Propsicle all around the back of him too. Mayans comes in a little more obliquely onto the route, into the ladder, and it's good for him, but Propsicle is just as good as well. Levi's a little bit higher. Propsicle here can't see Mayans at the moment. He drops down now into the tunnel. He's still between the two of them. He's in front of both of them. Levi's gone all backwards. Levi is out of the race for now. 5 seconds out of it. Propsicle and Mayans and 2 or 3 tenths of a second and 1 lap. Mayans and Prop again. Over the rooftops. Mayans a little higher. Propsicle a quarter of a second still. They drop down through the DCL gates and double back for this one. Propsicle moves a little closer to Mayans. Catches him by a tenth. Trying to catch some more on every corner. Into the ladder here. They're both out of that cleanly. And away into the dive cube. Mayans and Propsicle at 9 thousandths of a second. 3 thousandths of a second. Who can call this now? Into the tunnel. Propsicle and then Mayans. Will they make it this way as they come out of the block tray power loops? It's so good. This is just fantastic flying, and it comes undone. Mayans drops out. Propsicle is away. IQ0 is too far behind, and he roars as this time the point is his. Oh my, 2 points to 1 for Quad Force 1. They're back in the lead. This is as good as it gets. The top pilots of these teams, Propsicle, the highest scorer of everybody out of Split 1 and the best of the scoring pilots for Quad Force 1. And Vincent Mayans, by far the best scorer out of all the pilots for Raiden Racing, not just this season but in the last couple of seasons as well. Giving as good as each other until one just cracks a little bit and the other one just gets that win by small margins. 2 points to 1. The Ice Cheetah wants to buy the invisible water that is powering Propsicle on. Breathe! Unless you're these 4 pilots. Well, they should probably breathe too. Let's keep going. 2 points to 1 for the Americans in blue. No time to stop. No time to regroup. Mayans will, as he's such an incredible competitor, forget about what just caught him at the end of that race, not let it bother him, and go again. IQ Zero and Leviathan having some problems early in lap number 1, as we've seen IQ do a few times. Leviathan doesn't usually get as far behind as he is at this stage. It's Propsicle and Vincent Mayans in a race at the front. IQ trying to gain a little bit closer to them. Levi has caught a little bit up as well, but still a long way behind. Mayans and Prop, and a 0.02 of a second gap between them. It's nothing, is it? You're seeing really the best that these pilots can give under such enormous pressure. I can't stress that enough. Propsicle, Vincent Mayans and IQ Zero and Leviathan are giving everything they can. Into the tunnel. Mayans and Propsicle ahead of the other pilots. Less than a 1/10 of a second between them. Of course it's less than a 1/10 of a second. Mayans and Propsicle. But where is Propsicle now? He comes out of the cubes having gone all kinds of wrong in there. And with 2 laps to go and halfway through the race, there are hours of time between Raiden and Quad Force 1 in drone racing terms. Mayans is away. Nobody's within 2 seconds of him. And the one who's closest is his teammate IQ Zero. Oh, Propsicle needs to shake that off. I suspect he's going to know that there is just too much to do here, but you've got to keep racing in case anyone makes a mistake. But will Mayans or IQ Zero make a mistake of such magnitude as to let Quad Force 1 back into this one? You wouldn't think so. Mayans is through the cubes. IQ Zero is through the cubes. There's one more lap where they've got to keep it together. And look at Mayans' face in the bottom right of your screen. Please blink for us, Mayans. You've got 1.5 seconds, 2 seconds lead, and that's over your teammate. Don't let it all evaporate by taking your foot off the gas too much. And actually knowing what a competitor he is, he's not going to slack off and take any chances at all. Raiden surely tying the series up. 2 points all. Mayans through that tunnel there. His eyes surely bleeding under the pressure of this. Into the block trade. Power loops. He goes out again, and his IQ has lost even more time. It's all his. Lake Zurich is all Raiden's in this race. Mayans makes the turn. Here's the twitch. Don't forget the little swing to the right. And take a breath. Vincent Mayans has another point for your team. Making it 7 today. And the Mayans blink count reaches 1. Wow. Trying to work out all the races that he's got and the points he's made. He's by far the highest scorer of today's. But of course, having their route into the elimination series of the bracket does mean they've had another race to make. That Quad Force 1 weren't in. Who is going to call this one? Well, I am. That's my job. But 2 points all, indeed. Thank you, Cyclone Racing Team. Mr. Cyclone coming in with confirmation. It is, indeed. 2 points all. Would you like to do the rest of the commentary, Cyclone Racing Team, in chat? So you can just keep them away if you wish. 2 points all. Propsicle, Leviathan, Vincent Mayans, IQ Zero. 3 races left to be a Split 1 champion. Will we see IQ Zero moving up through the field? Looks like a good start for him. Best start he's had in this series, maybe in the whole day. Leviathan, as I said, coming into this grand final, had the fastest time out of these 4 pilots so far. The Ice Cheetah has been Googling. We'll all keep our eyes on this, I think. IQ Zero has the lead at the moment. Propsicle, Leviathan, chasing him on to lap number 2. Vincent Mayans half a second behind. You can probably bet that won't last, but will he be able to manage to get nearer the front? Nearer the front, certainly. At the front, might take a little bit of a mistake here and there to try and do something about it. IQ Zero still out in front, feeling pressure that he hasn't felt. Quad Force 1 looming behind him. IQ Zero has very much seen Vincent Mayans in front of him all the time. and has been giving the other pilots something to think about while Mines has been getting the points. Well, IQ0, you're the hope for Raiden right now to take a lead in this grand final, but it's half a second between all four, and it's the two Raiden pilots currently behind the two Quad Force 1 pilots. That Foxier Gate is no problem, and lap number 3 is upon us, and upon them, over the Rapperswil Castle, Leviathan, then Propsicle, then IQ0 and Vincent Mines, who are together now, 3rd and 4th place. That's not the places they want, though. It's quarter of a second between all four pilots. We've had 2 laps. We're in the 3rd one. They all come out of the drop gate except for IQ0, who messed up the entry. And he's the first one to struggle. Into 4th place now. As he's been a few times, it's Mines, his teammate, who's going to grab the relay baton and charge towards the front with it. It's Propsicle, then Leviathan, and Vincent Mines in a quarter of a second still. Keep the support coming in the chat. These pilots are truly world class, and it's not even our World Championship title on the line. It's the chance of being the first ever split champion in the DCL, and Mines is side by side with Propsicle, nothing between them, but Leviathan is a quarter of a second ahead of both of them. Mines now in the front for Raiden Racing, skipping past Levi and Propsicle, but Levi is in the fight with him again. Propsicle sees them both in front of him. We go to the block trade power loops, all 4 of them, with Leviathan and Vincent Mines, barely anything between them. We see Mines be fantastic in the cubes. He needs to be absolutely phenomenal now as Levi has got them sewed up. He exits ahead of Mines with 0.3 of a second. The final turn is good. The Foxier Gate is no problem. Levi gets a lead again for Quad Force 1. They're within 1 point of a championship. Propsicle's been doing so much work for the team. Leviathan with a fantastic time there gives them a 3-2 lead. It could be finally the day that Quad Force 1 win a DCL title. It's not the big one. It's not the World Championship. That will come with the battle at the end of 2023. But Quad Force 1, they've knocked aside X-Blades. Can they push aside the reigning 2-time World Champions and finally get a title in DCL, the first time since they joined in 2018? This could be it. Or can Raiden do as they've done at the end of the last 2 seasons when they faced X-Blades and come back and win it outright? I dare you to call it. I dare you, and I implore you in chat to call it. Who could it be? Spain Drone Team, amazing follow indeed. Cyclone Racing Team keeping us up to date with commentary. Stick with us wherever you are. I know it's midnight for some of you. I know it's about midday in the US for Quad Force 1. This is it. This race sees Quad Force 1 lift a championship or Raiden take it to the final race of the season. Give them all of your support as they take on this track that we called No Pressure. I say we, it's Shane Adams, and yes, all along when I saw it I thought, you're kidding. Even before I found out what he called it. There we go. IQ0 sadly is 5-6 seconds behind halfway through lap number 1. Having trouble on this course. It's been catching him out a few times all day. It seems to have always sent him to the back at some point, and he's there now. It is down to Vincent Mayans from Raiden Racing to stop Quad Force 1. If he stops them here, we will have one more race, the final race of this best of 7. Both of these teams deserve it to go that far, but Quad Force 1 will want to wrap it up now. Mines and 0.05 of a second, and then Propsicle, who's now got past him. Into the dive cube we go. We're on board with Leviathan, who's chasing Prop. As usual, he can't see Mines because Mines has gone a little bit higher. Into the power loops. 1, 2, 3. Everybody in there. Everybody seeing a glimpse of each other. Everybody, Propsicle, Mines, and Leviathan. IQ0 sadly just too far behind. That's 2 laps. 2 laps to go for Quad Force 1 to win this race and be the Split 1 champions. Levi, Mayans taking turns being in the lead. Propsicle is 4 seconds behind. That is not what he expected to do in this important race now. Levi and Mayans come out with 200ths of a second between them. Who's going to give first? Who's going to crack under pressure? Will either of them crack? Will they both make it like this all the way to the finish? It's 0.2 of a second now. And here comes the route into the cubes. Leviathan is passed by Mayans and half a second more. Leviathan gets caught on the route into there. We've got 1 lap and it's Mayans for Raiden in the front of things. And there's the turn that starts lap number 4. Mayans 7/10 ahead of Leviathan. Leviathan needs to catch him and get this championship, or Raiden will take it to the final race of the day. Mayans out in front, dealing with the pressure phenomenally well. Leviathan gains a 10th, gains another one. It's 4 now, and closing. Levi heads out over Lake Zurich, chasing Mayans into the tunnel. Leviathan slightly further behind than he was. That tunnel turn, not so good for him, but he's chasing Mayans and gaining on him and moving in front of him and hitting the wall. And Mayans is away. And the final turn, the Foxier Gate, the swerve, and the finish gate is his. We go to the last race of the day. All tied. Quad Force 1, 3 points. Raiden Racing, 3 points. Race 7. You deserve it. These pilots deserve it. These teams deserve it, as they will not give an inch. One team wins a point, then the other. Quad Force 1 and Raiden, Leviathan and Vincent Mayans getting all 3 of theirs. Back and forth it has gone. It is 3 points to 3. 1 race to settle the whole thing. 4 laps around a track called No Pressure, set at Lake Zurich over Rapperswil Castle, to be the Split 1 champions. Quad Force 1 have never won any DCL title in previous years, real life or virtual. It's only ever been the World Championship title that they could win. This is our first season with a mid-year finals, the Split 1 championship. There'll also be a Split 2 championship title, then the fight for the World Championship at the end of the year. Split 1 champions, will it be Quad Force 1, their first ever title, or will Raiden add it to the 2 World Championship titles they've had in the last 2 years? All I hope is that all 4 of these pilots show the very best to the very end. You know that's exactly what they intend to do. The pressure is enormous. They can all be forgiven for any little hesitations or wobbles or mistakes under this amount of pressure. But who can get it done? That's what it's going to be. Come and get it, pilots, as I always say to them. It is Quad Force 1 against Raiden for the Split 1 title. It doesn't get any better than the Drone Champions League. Just enjoy some of the best drone racing you're ever going to see between the Americans of Quad Force 1 and the 2-time world champions from Japan, Raiden Racing. The charger for Raiden is Vincent Mayans, and he's in 4th place. He's a quarter of a second behind the lead. IQ0, his teammate, is in 3rd. Ahead of both of the 2 Raiden pilots, it's currently both of the 2 Quad Force 1 pilots, but Mayans has gone from 4th to 3rd, 2 seconds on lap number 2. He's now between Propsicle and Leviathan as they head down to the ground and out over the water. Propsicle and Levi 1st and 2nd. Mayans in 3rd as we're on board with him, watching his charge now. Here's the block straight power lifts. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Everybody is in the same gate at the same time. But Mayans has lost a fraction of time. Levi has got in front of Propsicle. Mayans has lost a few tenths here. There's the end of lap number 2, and the Foxier Gate sees the start of the second half of this race with Leviathan and Propsicle for Quad Force 1 still in the lead, and Mayans 0.6 of a second, a little bit more than he would expect to be if he's going to make his charge. IQ0 starts to struggle and starts to slip. Vincent Mayans is the one who's going to have to do it for Raiden again. He takes into the dive gate and is gaining on Propsicle, who's slipping a little bit further behind Leviathan. Mayans now, we see Propsicle underneath him as he goes into the tunnel just ahead of Propsicle and now into the power loops. Levi still ahead of him. Mayans 0.2 of a second nearer than he was. The cubes have got to be perfect for both of these pilots, for all of these pilots, if they're going to make it onto the fourth lap in the position they want to be. And Mayans is now 0.1 of a second behind Leviathan. Leviathan, who was quickest on this track coming up to the grand final. Mayans, who is the deadliest finisher in the DCL. Propsicle is slipping a little bit further behind Mayans and can't stay with him. Mayans is alongside Leviathan. Over the castle, into the ladder. Mayans takes the lead. He hesitated almost, but turned it into speed, and he comes out of the drop gate in front. He's out over the ground and out over the water, and Leviathan is 1/4 of a second behind him on the final lap. Into the DCL tunnel. Don't get put off by IQ zipping across the front of you, and he doesn't, but Levi is with him. Into the power loops now and into the cubes. It's Mayan back in the lead. Levi in second. Propsicle moving up. Levi's lost some time. Mayans is leading them out over the ground, and it's Raiden racing! Raiden and Vincent Mayans, he gets all 4 of the points in the grand final, and Quad Force 1 are beaten in the last race by the best finisher in the DCL. Again and again, he's done it for the black and yellow team, and he does it now. Vincent Mayans gets the point for his team, and Quad Force 1 wait another day before they can have a DCL title. It is 4 points to 3. Raiden win the day. Your DCL Split 1 champions, it's Raiden Racing! Congratulations to the team in black and yellow, and Vincent Mayans and IQ0 in particular, for such an incredible day's racing. But you can't have competition like that without amazing performances on both sides. Propsicle and Leviathan scoring points, putting up incredible times, and just losing it on the last moment. Let's talk to them first. Guys, Propsicle, Leviathan, no one will be surprised to see that the smiles are not quite as broad as they were before, but guys, commiserations to you. You gave that absolutely everything. Leviathan, let's start with you. How are you doing?
I mean, it kind of sucks, obviously, to choke a heat like that, but, you know, we had a good run, and, unfortunately, we just made mistakes when not good timing, so, you know, it happens sometimes, but, I felt like we were flying good today, so hopefully we can keep that up for the second half of the season.
You were flying fantastically well, and not just today, Leviathan, but all Split 1 as well. Your team have been top of the leaderboard sometimes, which, let's be honest, isn't a position we've seen Quad Force 1 doing mid-season, and you make it to the grand final race today. This is a huge performance. Propsicle, that one's going to sting, isn't it?
Yeah, that one hurts a lot. To kind of come that close after having not been in, I don't think, a grand finals for a long time, haven't won a race since 2020, like, to kind of come that close and still just miss it at the final hurdles definitely sucks, you know. I don't feel like I flew my best today. I definitely had way more mistakes than I feel like I should be having. So I don't know, it's a learning experience as always, you know, take what I learned from this race, bring it into Split 2. But I mean, congrats to Raiden and those guys. Thunder was flying, like, absolutely amazing. Like, he was on point today, so props to him and those guys. Like, they really do deserve it, because Thunder just flew out of his mind today. But, yeah.
I know this one hurts. I hope you'll watch it back at some point, because I think you'll see that both you and Leviathan have flown fantastically well today. I really think you've given the very best of what you could do. Yes, some mistakes, but everybody made mistakes at different times. It was so close, and it's truly one of the greatest finals we've ever had in the Drone Champions League. I don't think anything I'm saying is going to make this feel better for you right now, I know, but I hope you will watch it back and realise how close you came. I guess close moments like this, Silas, mean that when Quad Force 1 do win a title, it'll be all the more sweeter.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like, I don't know, still chasing that race win, but yeah, I mean, all these hurdles and falling short, like, at the last minute, like, this is just going to make, when we finally do get, like, on that top step of the podium, all the more worth it. So it's just part of the journey, you know, this is how racing is, so I'm looking forward to bouncing back from this.
I can't wait to see it when you do. Guys, it has been an incredible Split 1. You've both been amazing. Propsicle, remember, you were the #1 pilot in points and wins scored for your team in Split 1. Congratulations again for that, including the finals. I think Mayans has just beaten you now. But as far as the season score goes, that's what we were counting. Congratulations with your 48 wins for Quad Force 1. Guys, I can't wait to see you. I always enjoy seeing you racing, but I know Split 2 is going to be phenomenal from you guys. Congratulations on being the runners-up of Split 1.
Thanks, Matt.
Thanks.
Well done to those guys for those races, and I got to tell you as well for doing that interview then, because I've worked on many different events outside of the DCL, and there are some teams who would not do the runners-up finals, so that's fantastic from them. We got to talk, though, to the unblinking man and his teammate IQ0. Raiden Racing are the first ever DCL Split champions! Congratulations, Raiden Racing. You had to fight for every inch of it. Vincent, what does this mean to you?
Well, this season has been tough to us. It really means a lot. We haven't been struggling all day long, and I can't express with words what it is, but just an incredible feeling, really.
Yeah. IQ0, we've seen you a few times in Split 1, but not a lot of races, so there was quite a lot of pressure on you to perform here. That track, like I said earlier, it bit you a few times. What have you got to say about Vincent?
Like, he's the mastermind of Raiden Racing, really.
You don't need
obviously,
to.
would not have done anywhere near this well without him, but gonna keep trying my best and see if we can have a better result next time.
A better
really
result.
Lucky to have such a strong team.
I mean, you guys did have to fight through the elimination zone. You lost your opening series against Quad Force 1. You have to then come back and race them again. The season, the whole Split 1 getting here, Quad Force 1 were above Raiden Racing, pretty much the whole time after the first few weeks. Raiden was sort of locked in that third place spot behind X-Blades as well. I know you wanted to be on top of the Split 1 for the whole season. You come into this in third. You get it done at the end, though. You guys never, ever give up.
We did it one more time. It's incredible, really.
So we can't wait to see what happens in Split 2, but you have this Split 1 title, and you've had lots of your teammates. Longcat's been here, Silent in chat as well. What happens now for Raiden Racing? How do you get together and celebrate?
Celebrate? What are you talking about? Practice, 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 right back to the grind.
Do I need to stop talking to you so you can go and practice now, Gabe?
Sure.
I'm keeping you from practice. I'm so sorry.
What time is it for you?
Guys, Split 1 champions. 2-time world champions and the leaders currently for 2023. Vincent Mayans, Thunder FPV, Gabe, IQ0, congratulations to you and all your team. Our champions of Split 1. It's you. It's Raiden Racing. Little polite applause, little golf clap for them at the end of the championship. What a day, what a series of racing. My God, that was one of the tightest series I can ever remember. It may well be just, some people will say that's the best final we've ever had. I wouldn't try and disagree with them. We've changed our format many times over the years with real life races and virtual races, so the seasons are hard to compare. What an incredible final, and we have Split 2 to come in 2023 as well. So Split 1 is nearly over, but then of course Split 2 is coming and our World Championship final at the end of the year. But Split 2, feeling much better about that one then?
I'm feeling a lot better. We have now tasted what it is to be in the DCL.
Yeah.
We know what to expect, and we know what to do better.
Yeah.
We know how to get to the finals
Okay.
for Split 2.
Split 2
and
finals.
we're gonna do it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, we'll see you there then.
Yeah, you will.
To the years of Split 2. Feeling like you're going to have an even stronger performance?
I think we can do great on Split 2. We have some time to prepare, to do some training, new style of track. So I think we can really work with the team and making a change next year.
Split 2 coming up later on this year. Mach 1 are going to be bigger and better, right?
Yeah. That's a point. Yeah.
Split 2, you reckon none of this being in third, you fancy being nearer the top of the leaderboard, right?
I mean, we have to do it. It's not just words, but we can do it. I mean, there's no problem.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like that.
Yeah, it'll be good.
And then Split 2 coming up later on in the year.
Yeah.
What happens between now and then?
Now and then, just a lot of hard work again. Same things, consistency, and yeah, we're looking forward to that as well. So can't wait to get everybody working hard again and see what we can accomplish. Hopefully, we can get even higher. I don't know.
All of our teams with plans and preparations already underway for Split 2, which is coming very soon, but I can't tell you just yet when it's going to be. I'm not allowed. So make sure you follow DCL.aero, our site, and of course Drone Champions League on all of our social media on Twitter and Instagram and TikTok and so on, and YouTube, of course, to find out when the next race is going to be. We will be bringing Split 2 with these 10 incredible teams, 18 more race weeks, all the teams racing each other twice again in Split 2, a live Split 2 finals later on this year, and the World Championship, and fingers crossed, maybe some more real-life racing of one kind or another, and some fun like we had in Dubai by the end of 2023 as well. What a unbelievable split it's been, capped off by just the most incredible racing. Thanks from me, I'm Matt Andrews. I have absolutely loved every year that I've got to work on the DCL. It's such a great honour talking about the incredible exploits and performances of these pilots. So thank you for all the kind words in chat. Kite, Blonde Angel, FPV and everybody else as well. I really appreciate it. And thanks to the DCL and these pilots. We couldn't do it without them, and we wouldn't dare do it without you either. So most of all, thanks very much to you for watching. We're the Drone Champions League. We're the World Championship of Professional Drone Racing Teams. You know it, and today proved it. What an incredible set of performances. X-Blades Racing are third. Quad Force 1 was so close, but the runners-up, the Split 1 champions, after being third in the leaderboard for almost all season, it's the two-time world champions and the new Split 1 champions, Raiden Racing. Congratulations to them. Thank you again to all of you for watching. I'm Matt Andrews. You can find me, Matt Andrews TV, on social media, and probably a bit of Twitch soon as well. But from all of us here at the Drone Champions League, keep an eye on the social media. We can't wait to bring you Split 2.